Now the man who'll be looking for a win in the South African Touring Car Championship is Anthony Pretorius at his home circuit. The Dunlop tyres on these cars are going to be absolutely crucial today with some trying conditions. It's a little bit cool, so track conditions are a little bit lower than what they expected. But the action on the track, I think, is going to be hotter than ever. Some hot action expected down in the Supacup category, as well as they join up with the South African Touring Car field and make it a really strong 20-car pack here at Supacup. Qualifying all important to try and get the front end of this pack, particularly at Supacup, is crucial. And it hasn't quite got according to plan there for Natim Samanga, who's ended up in the kiddie litter. So the team's just communicating with their drivers, telling them exactly where they are and what they need to do to get to the front end. Drive here from Davide Franco, and the man to beat in the Supercup class looks like it might be Campos. He's fired up after Kyle Army, and there's certainly some big fights expected there. Robert Volk took pole position ahead of Natim Samanga and Saud Variawa. Michael van Rooyen, Julian van der Walt and Anthony Pretorius ahead of Schofield. Campos ahead of Machotsi and Liebenberg for the South African Touring Cars Supercup class. And Charles Visser, Tate Bishop and Davide Franco, your top 6 there. Robert Volk getting the pole position award from Dunlop.
Yeah, obviously we had our struggles yesterday, so all credit to the team for getting the car on pole this morning. So the car was fantastic to drive and it's nice and consistent. So I think we have good race pace. Obviously the start will be difficult being on the outside into turn 1. But yeah, I guess Supacup all about getting through turn 1 and just trying to consolidate the lead. And from there we'll try and manage pace. So yeah, looking forward to it. I think we have good race pace and we'll see what we can do.
And in Supercup, pole position is Keegan Campos.
It's been quite an emotional roller coaster within my own head. Struggled yesterday, to be quite honest with you. Forever chasing tyres, and you know, tyres can only go so far in the sense that it's the same for everyone. But yeah, obviously to come pole position come race day, and not just by a small margin in such a tight field. So super excited for today. Let's keep the momentum going.
As you heard from Keegan, the Dunlop tyres are certainly a big factor to get you to the front end of any battle in the South African Touring Cars and Supercup class. But there's certainly going to be some great ones once again here at Supacup International World of Motoring. As the drivers are getting ready to go, it's time to go racing for race 1 of the South African Touring Car Championship, featuring the South African Touring Car Supercup class as well. So a rolling start now for the South African Touring Cars and Natim Samanga alongside Volk. We saw him Samanga in the kiddie litter in qualifying, so he must have got that lap in real early. But, was that Variawa hitting the brakes hard as Robert Volk tried to catch them all out? The lights haven't even gone off yet, and they're racing down towards turn number 1. So as they head into turn 1, it is Robert Volk who's looking to get the whole shot. Will Campos do the same thing here for the Supercup class? He hangs on. Yes, the Veloci machine. No! On his inside, he gets outgunned slightly there by Jonathan Machotsi. And around the outside, here comes Visser. Visser and Machotsi trying to dive and find a way through here on the Campos car. And it looks like Machotsi's been able to do that. Oh, is that Franco? No, it's Roberto who's stuck in the kiddie litter at turn 2. So safety car will be deployed. As the safety car pulls into pit lane, we go on board with Julian van der Walt for the restart. He tries to get the hammer down here in that Volkswagen Golf GTI and try and close things down on the hard-charging BMW and Toyotas ahead of him. Behind him, he's got Anthony Pretorius in the Corolla sedan as opposed to the hatch category. And looks like Anthony Pretorius hasn't quite got the pace that he normally has here at his home circuit. This is the South African Touring Cars and Supercup now into turn 2. And Campos trying to get around Jonathan Machotsi. Behind him, it's Brad Liebenberg. Liebenberg on board with him as we go now into the Starlet for the first time. And Brad Liebenberg will be looking to try and close things down here on those top 2 ahead of him. Campos, his arch rival, and Machotsi just ahead. The two of them fighting hard there for the SA Supercup category. And back to the front end. Is it Natim Samanga who leads out? It is. Samanga who hangs on at the moment ahead of Volk. Volk has got his teammate of Natim Samanga on his tail there. And Saud Variawa looking for a way through. Then Michael van Rooyen tucked in behind that. As the Supercup class comes down towards turn 8, it's Machotsi from Campos. Campos from Liebenberg. Liebenberg from Tate Bishop. And then Visser trying to come back there on the inside of Van der Walt. And I can tell you something, that's not an easy man to get through there. JP Van der Walt certainly knows his way around here, but Visser finds a way through. So Visser just sneaks into turn 1, moving up 1 position. Behind that is Jason Campos. Great to have both the Campos boys back in this category, but now Keegan under a bit of pressure to try and get that first position back from Machotsi. Looks like Machotsi's disappearing at the front end. Saud Variawa still in 3rd place, trying to close the gap on Robert Volk. Volk's lost a bit of room there to Natim Samanga. Samanga at this point in time hangs on, and he's trying to hang on for a potential victory here Watching the background as well, as we were seeing Michael van Rooyen battling hard here with Van der Walt and Pretorius. Pretorius is closed onto the back end of that Golf GTI. And nothing in it between those three. Maybe playing around with the options of potentially what could be pole position for race 2, because remember they do an inverted grid here. So are these three maybe just taking the tactics into account and playing for 3rd, 4th and 5th place, or 4, 5 and 6th place at this stage? We'll have to wait and see. Machotsi hanging on for a potential victory here. Campos has got no answer, neither has Brad Liebenberg in the Gazoo Racing Starlet. Behind him, as I said, you could see a bit of a charge coming there. It seems to have just faded slightly from Tate Bishop's point of view. Maybe just losing a little bit of ground there and not able to make up the ground that he has lost on that Toyota Starlet of Brad Liebenberg. Top 4 out of turn 2 in the Super Cup class. We're on board now with Campos. So what it looks like as he tries to close the gap down here on Machotsi. Smooth driving here from Campos. Absolutely hardly any movement on that wheel. And watch him now closing down and shifting onto the gearbox. Down the gears into turn 4. Here comes Visser. Visser on the inside. Oh, Cape Town Armada in the house here. 2 of them coming out of Cape Town. And yeah, Bishop running wide with the pressure being applied there from Charles Visser. Just lost that outside grip and put his wheels on the dirt. And went almost sliding, but managed to catch it fortunately there. So the angry car drops down slightly. So it's Visser now moving up 1 place. He gets ahead of his Cape Town rival. And now starts to get away. Carrahill at the back end, heading the Calyx car. Hanging on to the tail pieces there of JP Van der Walt, who also has lost some ground there to Campos Senior. That's Jason Campos, not Roy himself, but Jason, the older brother, having some fun and games in the Super Cup class. And then behind that, you can see a nice move there from Dean Fenter and Nicholas Vistanis, or Nicky Vistanis, having a fantastic drive at the back of the pack. So it looks like, also watching in the background, I'm sure I saw a Toyota Gazoo Racing machine at the back there. So maybe one of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Corolla hatches have had a problem. And it could possibly be the champion of the class last year, the number 1 car of Saad Variawa. Now Tim Zamanga is going to get the victory. He's going to go ahead over Robert Volk, and Michael van Rooyen will come through for 3rd place. Yeah, it was Saad Variawa with a problem in the closing stages. No worries at all here for Machotsi. Machotsi is going to come through for the victory in the Super Cup class, beating Keegan Campos and Brad Liebenberg for 3rd place in the Toyota Gazoo Racing's Starlet. Behind that will be Visser. Confirmation of the results. So Volk getting the victory over Van Rooyen and Van der Walt. I think Natyam Samanga might have been caught out with a jump start. He finishes down in 6th place. Machotsi takes the victory in the Super Cup class, beating out Campos, and a good run there from Tate Bishop, hanging on for the 4th spot ahead of Franco and Jason Campos. Race 1 winner in Super Cup, Jonathan Machotsi.
Absolutely. Fantastic result for the team. Considering where we were yesterday, having only completed 4 laps, the team were able to obviously fix the car, bring it back, and we had some serious pace. And yeah, man, it was tough to keep Keegan at bay, but look, it's not over yet. We still have 1 more race.
Certainly do a little bit of chopping and changing that have to happen down in pit lane. Maybe some adjustments to a few of the cars. Natyam Samanga will be kicking himself for that jump start, and he'll hope to try and rectify that in race number 2. Lee Thompson Racing there, working hard to get those cars all sorted and back on track in time. And let's see what the Campos boys can do now. Particularly Jay, he'll be looking to just improve his position from race number 1, slightly higher up on the grid. Cars are rolling out. It's time for race 2. Brad Liebenberg looking to take on the big might of all the Volkswagen cars with his lone Toyota. Anthony Pretorius on the front row with Andrew Schofield. Schofield on pole position, inheriting that as the last car on the track. And it is a big move on the inside from Anthony Pretorius. Has he been able to keep him out? Looks like he has. And just squeezes to the front end of the field there for the Fast Racing Developments car. It's Keegan Campos who's got the drop on everybody else in the Super Cup class. He goes inside of Machotsi, almost a return of the favour there, and runs a bit wide with a bit of understeer there, properly from Keegan Campos as he came out of turn 2. But he manages to hang on, only just to keep out Machotsi, who was hard on his tail, looking for a way through. Speaking of looking for a way through, well, it's Robert Volk on his teammate, trying to find a way through, realizing that the Toyotas out front are getting away, and one, importantly, is a very fast man around here. Oh, problems at the top of the hill. Somebody's come together. I was about to say, the one man he has to worry about at this track is Anthony Pretorius, who's had lots of experience here, but double wave yellows, and it's once again Saad Variawa. Second time today he's run off the circuit. The champion is having an absolute nightmare here for Gazoo Racing. Looks like he might have got helped out slightly there. I think it might have come from Natyam Samanga. We'll keep an eye on that. Yes, look at that. The front end of his car very badly damaged. So a little tap there between the two teammates heading towards turn 5 where they're going back to now. Natyam Samanga trying to drive through Schofield. As Schofield gets forced to the wide line as well and onto the dirty stuff. Michael Van Rooyen hits the front. The Rustenburg Rocket leads out. Here comes Volk. Volk's going to drive on the inside of Pretorius. Pretorius gives him a little bit of room to play. Oh, and he forces his way through. Anthony Pretorius trying to come back at him. As they head down towards turn 8, he's on the inside line, or he's going to try and dive on the inside. He is. He's going inside of Robert Volk. They touch. Oh, there's a big touch between the two of them. They're both getting sent to the sideline. Pretorius trying to come back. Oh, Volk loops out 360 degrees right in front of Anthony Pretorius. Gets back on the loud pedal. The car goes the wrong way. He might have to stay there till the Supercups come through. Let's have a look at it one more time. This is from Pretorius' point of view. He's on the inside line. There's the touch. Second touch there between Volk and Pretorius. He tries to get out of it, and there's just nowhere to go. Both of them onto the dirty stuff. Pretorius eventually came out the better of the two. He was able to get back on track just ahead of the hard-charging field of Supercup competitors, but Robert Volk had to wait for a whole bunch of them to come through before he could return to the circuit. And it looks like there could be a little bit of damage here to Pretorius' car. Yes, he's pulled off the circuit through the kitty litter trying to get out of harm's way, but certainly some damage there after that incident. Oh, that's huge damage. Natyam Samanga's bonnet has flapped right open. After the tag he had with his teammate, Saad Variawa, that bonnet was hanging on by a little bit of a leftover of what the bonnet clip was originally, and it's now flipped up in front of him and he cannot drive. That's going to leave the lone man out front with absolutely no one even close to him in Michael Van Rooyen. He's done it all right. Stayed out of harm's way between these two teammates who are crashing into each other. Stayed out of harm's way with everybody else who's crashing into each other, including Robert Volk. And he's going to take a victory here. So he's going to answer our question. Can Toyota get a home track victory? Yes, indeed they can, particularly if Michael Van Rooyen's at the wheel. We're now in Tate Bishop's car as they head into the closing stages of the Super Cup class. Bishop trying to close things down there on Charles Visser and Machotsi. And it's Keegan Campos who leads the way. He's hanging on and he's actually closing things down there on Andrew Schofield. So Machotsi in second place in the Super Cup class. Keegan Campos leading it as they're getting into the closing stages, but Campos will definitely be absolutely loving life right now at the front end of the battle. And he's definitely turned things around in terms of the finishing positions from race number 1, with Machotsi in second place. Nicky Vastanis getting late on the brakes up here. Someone's run off the circuit there. Oh, it's JP van der Walt. JP van der Walt just running off the circuit, and maybe at this stage of the race, those Dunlops are crying out, saying, listen, you guys are pushing us way beyond what we were made to do. But they're certainly loving life as part of this championship, and the Dunlop sponsorship certainly helping these guys out to give them the traction that they need. But if they push them too hard, that's what can happen. JP van der Walt will tell you all about it. Coming through that dust that van der Walt has left is Van Rooyen. And the Rustenburg Rocket looks like he's on his way for a second victory here in the South African Touring Car Championship for 2024. Good run here from him. And it's actually Julian van der Walt who's moved his way up into second place. So here we go, to the line and to the checkered flag for Gazoo Racing in the Toyota hatch. And well done to Michael Van Rooyen, taking that victory. Staying out of harm's way, using the advantage of the reverse grid and getting to the front end and doing the job. Same thing can be said here from Keegan Campos' point of view as we see Variawa back into the mix there between himself, the leading Super Cup class car, and second place Jonathan Machotsi. But the flag will be out and Campos will get the second victory here today. We go on board with him. Are we going to get that little punch in the air? No, cool, calm and collected from Campos as he wraps up the second win of the day here for the Super Cup class. Let's get confirmation of those results for race 2. Van Rooyen, Van der Walt, Schofield, Volk and Variawa, your top 5. Campos wins out the Super Cup over Machotsi, Liebenberg, Visser and Bishop. Further back, Jason Campos beat out Franco, Hill and Nicky Vastanis. And it was JP van der Walt who wrapped up the final car across the line. There's a happy man. First place in touring cars, Michael Van Rooyen.
It's been a while. It's been a dry season so far this year. But yeah, I'll take it anywhere it comes. It was a nice start. I was strong in the beginning and I managed to pass all 3 cars in front of me. And yes, and I believe there was some argy-bargy behind me. When I look back, I was in a very comfortable lead. So I basically just maintained a fair pace and came to the finish.
Campos didn't quite have it all his own way like Michael did, but he certainly got the victory.
Obviously a lost opportunity in race 1. Kudos to Jono. He stuck me on the start, and no matter what I did, I could not close him down in race 1. As opposed to now, I actually made a little bit of a mistake into turn 2 on the start. I ran a bit deep, but I think all above board, and come home with a win just to end the weekend closing down on that championship.
And speaking of the championship, heading to the 4th round in Quebec, Robert Valk with an advantage over Julian van der Walt and Michael van Rooyen in the South African Touring Car Championship, with Variawa, Pretorius and Msimanga behind them. And then Jonathan Mogotsi leads out by 8 points over Keegan Campos, Charles Visser, Brad Lienberg, Dominic Diaz and Jason Campos, your top 6 in the Supacup.
Made to be a celebrity, you know.
Another great day's racing here at Supacup International World of Motoring and the Extreme Festival. I bet you can't wait to see what's going to happen down in Quebec at the Aldo Scrivanti circuit on the 29th of June for round 4 of the Extreme Festival of Motorsport. All this Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by Astron Energy, Volkswagen Motorsport, Dunlop Tires, and InvestChem Chemical Logistics.